Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to come on here today and make a video for Truth Is, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of fired up. I know a lot of you are, and you know, what they just did in New York to Donald Trump it's a crime. What they did to him was the crime, not what he did, or not what any of his people did, except Cohen, and he's a criminal. This is a travesty. It's a stain not only on American history, but the world. I mean, you start thinking about what they did here. They literally took a bogus misdemeanor from years ago, revived it, repumped it up, pumped it into a felony, and then it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And I call on the Supreme Court to step in and say, you know what, this is a violation, this is a due process violation. I think all of these judges and these DAs, they all should be disbarred. They should all be brought up on charges, because truthfully, if we were looking at it from this perspective, it's treason. That's what it is. It's treason. Because they know he's going to win, but since he's not in office yet, you could say it's not treason. But if he was in office and they'd done this, they would all be tried for treason. And I'll get back to this, to my next point when we get past my introduction. Welcome back to Truth Is. I cannot believe they did what they did. You know, there had to have been somebody on that jury who questioned what they were doing, and for the fact that there wasn't tells me that this was very partisan. That the whole jury was very partisan against Donald Trump. That's not bipartisan. This is not. At what point is any of this okay? I don't know who would think this is okay. And you know, the left is going to be, oh, now we got him. We charged him. We finally charged him. You charged him because you have a criminal judge, a criminal DA, a bullshit crime. It's all crap. And if you think this is great, you're a piece of shit. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat. And you are not American. You are completely un-American. If you think this is a great thing, you're an un-American piece of shit. Okay, and I'll stop using that word now, so I can, you know, keep this video posted. But in this country, you're supposed to have due process first, and that says there's supposed to be a crime. Okay. Now, here you have a non-crime. You have Trump, and you have this thing. They say, okay, this crime here is based on him doing this crime here, and so here's the felonies. But then this crime over here doesn't exist. There is nothing. There was no crime. There was no predicate. There was no. And there's no there. So it's all based on politics. This whole trial is based on politics. That is an abuse of the American justice system. I'm sorry, if you think this is okay, you do not belong in America. You're a traitor to this country, you're a traitor to the Constitution, and you're a traitor to the people of America. All of you, and you're the danger to democracy. All of you. And if you think this is okay, you don't belong here in this country. And let me tell you something else. This is not a democracy, okay? And so, you know, this is where a lot of people go wrong. And I've been seeing a couple things that I wanted to go over in this video today, lately, and aggravating things, you know. And here, another thing that kind of, and I was talking about this the other day with someone, and it's funny how many podcasters you have, and everybody's got a right to be heard. Everybody, it's great that you have all these podcasters, and, you know, on both sides of the aisle. And, you know, it's funny when you have people like me. I won't post up anything if I don't have the facts or the evidence to back it up. I'm not going to post it, you know. And I had this meme. I'll show you this meme. And the point of it is that, you know, there's a difference between conspiracy theories that are legitimate. You know, there's something pointing to something. There's, you know, the old saying, if there's smoke, there's probably fire, you know. But some of the conspiracy theories, and these people have these podcasts with thousands of followers, and I've listened to some of their conspiracy theories, and I was left stupefied, and I turned them off, and I never watched them again. There are some people out here that are, I'm sorry, you're just truly dumb. And I mean, if you're gonna do videos, do research. Please do research. Don't base it on, well, this guy said it, this guy said that, this guy said that guy said, he said, she said. You know, that doesn't work. That's not reality. That's not how science works, you know. If you have a hypothesis, you know, you go and you test your theory. You test your theory, and if it doesn't work, you know it's not true. And that's the same thing with facts and evidence. You kind of go, well, you can't really say this is true unless you have evidence, you know. Donald Trump's trial here, there was no evidence. There was nothing of any crime. There's no crime. Donald Trump didn't sign anything. That was all his lawyers did that. They're putting him in jail over what a corrupt lawyer might have done. And we all know that Cohen's corrupt. So I'm telling you what, this needs to be overturned like today. They need to turn that over today. And Mershon, he needs to be disbarred. He's a piece of crap. None of these people belong in government. Look at the way our government's turned. I used to be a Democrat. These are the kind of people I used to listen to. And back in the 90s, I started seeing, you know, like, what's going on here, you know? That's another thing, too, is that I started out making videos in 2014. And I was put under a heavy algorithm. I'm still under the same one. And for that reason, I may take my original channel, which doesn't matter. It's so oppressed, nobody ever sees it anyway. I may cancel it down off of YouTube. Here's the thing, you know, you got all these people doing these podcasts, and some of it's just the most ridiculous, crazy conspiracy theories. You know, others, they dig so deep into things that, you know, I feel like they need to back up and focus on what's going on right now. This thing with President Trump is like the most important thing we have going on. The problem, again, is with how far they're going with him. I feel like they're doing it because they were allowed to get away with 2020. I really think that people should have been in jail after 2020. What they did in 2020 was a crime. Everyone knows they stole the election. Everyone knows Joe didn't get 81 million. Everyone knows that in every state there was problems. Every state. Not one, not two. And you know the reason for that is? Because you can't take 81 million votes and put them all in one place. If it's a dishonest thing. You know, you have to spread them out, you know, across 50 states. And of course they put some of them in the most vulnerable states for Joe. You know, they needed him to win this area or that area, so they put a lot of them there. Those drops after midnight. You remember? Was it Michigan? There was a couple of drops. I remember the Pennsylvania drops, the Missouri drops, or not Missouri, but was it Illinois? One of the other places there was a drop, a big drop. You know, it's so funny though. Michigan, maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was Michigan. Here's the thing, you know, we should just go to paper ballots. We shouldn't have any. The left says they didn't cheat. Well, let's just go to paper ballots. Paper ballots and voter ID. No, there's no question. And if you win, you win. If we win, we win. Let's do it that way, huh? Let's see what the vote is really fair. And don't use counting machines. And if there are counting machines, they better not be hooked to the internet. You know, that's the thing. We're getting to the point now, this country is like right at teetering on disaster, you know. And I think we're teetering on the verge of a civil war here. And what they're doing now, and there's a lot of people who were Democrats who have switched over now, you know. And again, like me, I switched in '91. I could have never voted for the Clintons, and you know, I was a Democrat before that. My father, he red-pilled me. My father did. He said, because he knows I read. He said, what kind of country is this again? You know, go look it up. So the more I read, the more I started studying. I studied the Federalist Papers. And I didn't study them enough because there's still a lot about them I don't remember, but I remember enough to know that our founding fathers absolutely abhorred democracy. They wanted nothing to do with democracy. There's a ton of quotes out there that they all made about how bad democracy was, about mob mentality. Matter of fact, I got one that's like 4 things, and I'll post that up here while I'm talking so you can still hear it, read it, and listen to me talking at the same time. And I'll tell you what, it is crazy that people don't understand the level of danger this country is in right now. And they would cheer on what's happening in New York. You're pretty sick. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you think that's okay up there, you're sick, and you need to get help. You need to go speak to a psychiatrist, a therapist, or something, because really the truth is, you have grown to hate a man who has never done anything to you, nothing. And here, Joe Biden. You know, I could say I don't hate him like that. I think he's an idiot. He doesn't belong in office, and he's probably the worst president we've ever had in history. And people say, well, you didn't like Obama, you're a racist. No, Obama was half white and half black. Okay, and I'm a mix too. See, you can't use that excuse on me. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm Native American, I'm Hebrew, Egyptian, Chinese, and white. So I got a lot of different tribes of Native American, and I have a lot of different nationalities of white, because I got English, Irish, German, Scottish, French, you know, Welsh. So you got all this stuff, you know, all these people in America, and the blacks pointing their fingers at the whites pointing their fingers at the blacks, or well, actually, the truth is I don't see many people who are white pointing their fingers at the black, except for the blacks who are actually out there hurting people, doing dangerous things. Calling George Floyd a hero is the biggest sham I've ever heard in my life. He was a criminal. He didn't die from the officer Sicknick being on his neck or whatever his name was, whatever his name was. He died from fentanyl in the hospital later that day. You can look at the doctor's report. It says it right in the doctor's report. There was no fatal injuries on his body. Nowhere. He died from fentanyl poisoning. Okay? He wasn't a hero. Sorry. You know? And then, you know, y'all have such a lack of understanding of what a hero is. You know, and then people go calling, you know, I hear black people calling other black people Uncle Toms. Uncle Tom was a hero. Yeah. He died rather than betray his own people, the black people. He died rather than betray his own people. Do you not know that about Uncle Tom? Maybe you need to go back and read the book, you know, because people just, they get these stupid notions in their head and they keep going with it like they never really look to see, oh, was this true that I've been saying? Like, yeah, maybe, you know, maybe you should look it up before you keep talking about it. Climate change, a sham. It's a sham. It's to take your money and to take control of you. That's what that is. It's about control. The shots are about control. I've lost 33 people in 3.5 years. 33 people in 3.5 years. 29, I can say, I'm pretty sure may have taken it. 4 I know did not take it out of those 33. 4 people. And my wife was the first one who didn't take it, and she passed away in August of 26th of 2020, and they said it was caused by a pulmonary embolism caused by birth control pills. Another great pharmaceutical product, yeah. You know, I tried to tell her to stop taking them years ago because somebody said something to me, but I didn't even know how bad they were until, you know, I watched my wife die right in front of me, you know. None of you can talk to me about what you know about loss, you know. Ever since then, I'm disabled, and I've been in a battle since my wife died. I'm fighting with in-laws, HOAs, SS, everybody, and trying to get my disability. I have not had a moment of rest since my wife died. And then I've had people dying the whole time. And then I get these idiots on the internet, these trolls, and I just, you know, I've had a whole lot of them just block me because I start, oh, what about this piece of evidence, this piece of evidence, this piece of evidence? They block me because they can't handle the truth. Whenever you show them the truth, they don't like that, you know? And the fact that most of them would come on to True Social just to try to discredit Trump or discredit patriots, it's ignorant because they really don't have a clue about anything. They don't know what fascism is. When you ask them, what's fascism mean? The people own the means of production. When the people take over a country and it goes from being a free democracy, as they call it, it's not a democracy, ours is a republic. If you take over from that point and the government takes a hold of the means of production and say, okay, now we're going to divide it among the people, it never ever happens. And they go, well, if you do it the right way, okay, you're going to control the government? You can't even control this one. And we got laws to do just that. It's called the Constitution. Again, the Constitution is to control the government, not the people. Everybody got this thinking, well, I got my constitutional rights. No, you don't. You have your God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When you look at the Constitution, the first things it says, Congress shall make no law. Congress shall make no law. Then the second one's Congress or the government shall not infringe. The right to bear arms, the people's right to bear arms shall not be infringed. The people's right, it doesn't say Johnny has a right to own an AK. It says it shall not be infringed. It's telling the government it cannot infringe on that right. See, again, the government shall not quarter soldiers in times of war or non-times of whatever that works. That's the third amendment, okay, right? The fourth one is search and seizure. The government shall not commit illegal search and seizure. You know, everything is to control the government. Everybody keeps saying my constitutional rights are being violated. Well, no, those are the government's chains. The articles in the amendments of the Constitution, and this is why the founding fathers had so many arguments about calling the Constitution the Bill of Rights, because it's not our rights. Our rights are God-given and inalienable, and so you know, inalienable or unalienable, both words mean the same exact thing, they're interchangeable, means cannot be taken away, cannot be given away, cannot be sold. You can't get rid of your rights. They're unalienable. Means They're always going to be with you. No. And the government sits there and says, well, we're going to sign this to take away your rights. No. You don't have to let them do that. You understand that, right? Your rights are unalienable. They can't just take them. They can sign 1,000,000 pieces of paper. It doesn't take away your rights. What takes away your rights? You let them? Is that what it is? You're letting them. See, you don't. You're kind of missing that point. You're letting them take your rights away. Your rights are unalienable. They can't take them away. So by you saying, okay, well, I'm gonna let them sign a piece of paper and sign my right. No, you do not have to agree to that. You do not have to consent. The government operates by your consent. That's in the Declaration of Independence. The only real document that gave the people the rights is the Declaration of Independence. The Constitution was an extension of the Declaration of Independence that said, okay, this is for the Declaration was for us, right? To establish the whole thing, to start the whole ball of wax. And then the Constitution, well, okay, this is the second part that's going to control the government. No, it was never meant to control us. And how would we know when the governments become despotic? When they broke that second ball of wax, when they started not following those chains, when they started breaking the chains of the Constitution. How many equals a long chain of abuses? How many abuses have they broken? Every single amendment of the first 10, the Bill of Rights, right? The first 10 amendments of the Constitution are the Bill of Rights, and not one of them. The only thing says that give that number 9 and number 10, that which is not given to the government is the right of the people, the right of the people. See, that's the 9th, and the 10th is what is unconstitutional or not described as federal law and not in the authority of the federal government goes to the states and or the people. So if the government isn't following, the federal government isn't following the Constitution, then the states can say, well, we're going to follow the Constitution. That's that whole deal with Abbott, why he's able to fight against the government and say, no, you're not letting nobody else in Texas. He's got that right. That's the 10th Amendment, okay? And then if he stops doing what he's supposed to do, then the people have the 9th Amendment and the 10th Amendment, see? And then our rights past that are inalienable, right? Nowhere in the Constitution in the 2nd Amendment, again, let's just go back to the 2nd real quick, the right to bear arms, okay? Nowhere in there does it say you can have an AK or you can have a cannon or you can, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say you can, it doesn't say you can't either, see? It doesn't say you can't have an AK. It doesn't say you can't have a minigun or a Gatling gun, here's the thing. There was 2 guns that were automatic, almost volley fire type guns before the 2nd Amendment was ever ratified, before the Constitution was written. One was called the Puckle gun, and one was called the Reboloquin. And it was more like a cannon volley fire thing, but it looked like a huge Gatling gun, but it was mounted, and they usually mounted to like a pallet, almost carried around. But it's the same thing. You see, there was nothing in the founding fathers knew there was guns that were going to be advanced, and they never put anything about that in the 2nd, because it shall not be infringed is all they had to say. Shall not be infringed. That means that's telling the government they had no right to infringe on that right. All these bureaus and these separate entities of the government now, they're all corrupted. All the 3 letters, the EPA, the FDA, the NIH, the FBI, CIA, NSA, all corrupted. My last point in this video I'm going to make real quick is that I am kind of disgusted with the military, because to me the point was that they swore an oath to protect this country, and the moment they stole the 2020 election, our military should have moved in, because I know that they know. I know that they know what happened. I know that they know they were, and again, that they were changing the results. And they already know that they changed results. And I have seen so many Democrats sitting there complaining about, oh, well, we saw this pattern of, you know, how a hacker could just walk in and change the results and they complained about this until 2020. Then they were silent. And again, let me bring up one more point, and then I'll get off here. I'm done. In the 2020 election, Joe Biden made that little statement about, we've created the most extensive, inclusive voter fraud organization in history. Okay? And you guys did it for Obama too. That's his exact words. Okay? Where is they claim there was voter fraud for decades, right?
Our voting machines are too vulnerable.
Researchers have repeatedly demonstrated that ballot recording machines and other voting systems are susceptible to tampering.
Even hackers with limited prior knowledge, tools, and resources are able to breach voting machines in a matter of minutes.
In 2018, electronic voting machines in Georgia and Texas deleted votes for certain candidates or switched votes from one candidate to another.
Biggest seller of voting machines is doing something that violates Cybersecurity 101, directing that you install remote access software, which would make a machine like that, a magnet for fraudsters and hackers.
These voting machines can be hacked quite easily.
You could easily hack into them. It makes it seem like all these states are doing different things, but in fact, 3 companies are controlling this. It is the individual voting machines that pose some of the greatest risks.
There are a lot of states that are dealing with antiquated machines, right, which are vulnerable to being hacked.
Workers were able to easily hack into an electronic voting machine.
3% of American voters use voting machines that researchers have found have serious security flaws.
Oh, that was different.
They claim, and here Trump says something and they want to put him in jail, but they claim that Gore won. They claim Gore won. They claim, Stacey Abrams won. They claim, you know what I'm saying? They keep claiming all these people won their elections. And then they create this voter fraud organization. And then they said they used it for Obama. Where's the evidence that this voter fraud organization produced? If they did it for Obama, it must have been successful, so where's the voter fraud that they produced? That's what it was for, right? It was for uncovering voter fraud? Or was it for creating voter fraud? Actually committing voter fraud? Because I haven't seen any evidence to say that they were catching voter fraud, and they used the same organization again for Obama. Is anybody thinking about any of this? Because why would they use the same organization again if it didn't work the first time? And then if it did work, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence that it worked for Obama? How come we didn't see any evidence? Come on, show me some evidence of voter fraud that you captured during Obama's presidency, during his election, and then turn around and show me some that you captured during Joe Biden's. Let's see some. Because I do remember some people going to jail over this. Over Ruby, in Georgia, pulling the things out front of the table. Those were Democrats that got caught, weren't they? See, you're all completely ass backwards. Sorry to tell you, you are. And I'm going to try to keep this a little bit more family friendly in the future, but I'm just making the point. We have to save this country, and someone somewhere needs to stand up, whether it's the Supreme Court or whether it's the military. But you standing there with your hands in your pocket, you're as guilty as the people who did it, because you swore an oath to protect this country. You swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America, and this administration has violated every single amendment of the Constitution, except what's one? The quartering courting their, but now they're forcing, now let's let it not be proven that some of these people that they're bringing in here are going to be armies for them, because then they're demanding people to put them up in their house for rent, to rent them rooms. So there you go. There's the 10th Amendment that they violated. They violated, let's see, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th just on Trump. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. First one, freedom of speech. They were paying Facebook and Twitter, FBI agents, CIA to shut people down on those two platforms. That's invasion of our freedom of speech. So they violated the first one. They've been playing with the the ATF trying to take our guns, and they banned the bump stock, and then now the pistol grips, and for people who are handicapped who can, you know, had a hard time with that, the pistol grips. But whatever, that's 2. 3 is the quartering, you know, and then as I said, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 is the rights of the people are being violated. They were violating our rights during the pandemic. So 9, they violated. 10, they violated because the states went along with that, and they knew it was a violation, that the mandates were never legal. So all 10, there's your long train of abuses. All 10 of the amendments of the Bill of Rights have been violated by the Biden administration. And you're going to stand there and act like, well, hey, what is the first thing that the founding fathers left us? That's called the Declaration of Independence. What does it say? It says what? That a long train of abuses, it becomes the right of the people and the duty to throw off such a government. It is our duty. What, does somebody have to come and deputize all of you? I'm handicapped, but I would come to Washington, D.C. with 1 million people if I knew you were coming. I didn't even know all those people were going to D.C. on the January 6th. And that was a whole setup. And see, that's part of the reason they did it, to make you afraid to do it again. That's why they're still arresting people from then, to make you all afraid to do it again. This is becoming a dictatorship. It's becoming a tyrannical government. And if you don't stand up and do something, that's exactly what's going to happen. And our military standing there, you betrayed your oath. You betrayed your oath. And I'm supposed to stand here, you know, salute you. And you've all betrayed your oaths, you know, to stand there and let this happen. To let this dictatorship set up in our country. This is a free country, and you're supposed to protect, and you swore an oath to the Constitution, and you're not upholding it. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. And those who have served our country and died, I salute those people. And God bless them. And, you know I posted some stuff up on Memorial Day for that, but... you know, the people who are in now and you're standing by, you're wrong. You're wrong. Whoever's in control, the top of the military, top brass, whatever, you're all wrong. You know what this man is doing in office. He's destroying this country. And I'm going to be honest with you, and this is an opinion. I don't think the people are going to stand up for it much longer. And I think there's a lot more, you're going to have a lot more problems beating these people. If that's what you're planning on doing, then you think, okay. And these invaders that you're sending in here, they're going to find out. F-A-F-O, you know. Y'all have a good evening. One more quick little note. To all you judges out there like Juan Merchan and Chutkin and all of you all, same thing back to you. No one's above the law, not even you.